New evidence have been exposed at the Madlanga Commission this morning, and another dirty cop has finally been nailed. Colonel Jacob, the corrupt cocaine cop, working hand in hand with his cocaine boss General Senona, has finally been exposed. At this point, they have all been completely cornered, and by the end of this video, you will know exactly why they belong behind bars. When General Mkhwanazi first exposed these criminals, some people thought he was joking, but after watching this video, you will see exactly why we need to celebrate General Mkhwanazi as a true hero. If you are a big fan of the work General Mkhwanazi is doing, please hit that like button and share this video with everyone you know. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Type "Thank you Mkhwanazi" in the comment section right now. Let's show him our support during this critical moment. Jabulani, roll the clip.
It was an agreement between by you and Brigadier Nyuswa, or it was Brigadier Nyuswa's instruction. Perhaps it might help to have regards to CJC 243.6. At page, it starts at 589. That is your statement dated 9th November 2021.
Okay, just 1 second, Commissioner.
CJC 243.6, page 589, calls to Brigadier Nyuswa informing of what was transpiring. I indicated to him that we needed a safe place to store the exhibits. He undertook to make inquiries regarding a safe storage place. Eventually, the Brigadier indicated that the NPVC members, together with the tracking team, would assist to convey the exhibits for storage at Port Shepstone Serious Organized Crime Unit. We were instructed to await for those members for an armed escort. And then after a while, some people arrived. Is that your expression of the instruction that you received? That's the closest I get to an instruction in your statement.
Yes, Commissioner.
Just to check this, if Brigadier Nyuswa comes before the commission and states that you put a problem and a challenge to him, and this is an option he could think of at the time, and he put it to you to consider, but that the eventual decision was yours, what would you say?
No, I would totally disagree with that, Commissioner. It's unheard of that a brigadier takes the final decision from a subordinate. I disagree with that.
And you maintain that it was a direct instruction you could not disobey?
It was a direct instruction.
Okay. Just to finish off on one issue, as I understand your testimony, the container arrived, it had a specific seal number. It was locked with a specific seal number, correct? And we've come across that number often enough, H1905754. That is the seal that you broke at CHC depot. I'm looking at your statement, the undated statement, your very first statement at 574. It's not an issue, that seal number. It appears everywhere. So I just want to understand the order of things. You broke that seal.
Yes.
At CHC depot.
Correct.
You emptied the container of the drugs. You took out the bags.
The bags, correct.
Was it sealed thereafter?
Yes, it was.
By who?
My statement will state that. I think I put it somewhere in my statement.
Okay,
You said by an employee of the depot?
Yes, if memory serves me.
I'll read another statement of yours at 6:50 dated 26 September 2022 at paragraph 3, last line you say, it is for this reason that I deducted that one of the staff at the warehouse resealed the container with seal number ALUVIN, capital B 1034675. You gave that detail in your statement, and you say you deduce that one of the staff members had resealed it. Is that your position? So you don't know who resealed it?
No. Why do I say deduced?
Okay, then let's go to your page 650. That's your statement.
Yes.
Of the 26th of September.
Yes.
Do you have it?
I do.
Okay. Now, just read into the record the last sentence at paragraph 3.
It is for this reason, okay, that I deduced that one of the staff at the warehouse resealed the container with the seal number, and I go on to give a seal number. I think that word deduced does not really fit in there. If you read the line preceding to that, Commissioner, please, a sentence or two before that, where it starts, the DPCI members on the scene did not have any seals with us. Upon inquiring from members on the scene, no member could take responsibility for resealing the container. It is for this reason that I don't know, deduced is not the right word, that one of the staff at the warehouse resealed the container, but it was resealed in our presence. And I think the reason this was done this way, the seal belonged to the warehouse staff themselves. You know, we were not, border police had no seal. Sometimes customs has seals, but this was a seal kept by the warehouse themselves. So we thought, since they're going to be the custodians, let them seal it. We had that on record. They put it in a place where there's cameras. So that's what transpired there, Commissioner.
You started by denying when I read that you said you deduced that the stuff.
No, deduced is not the right.
No, but it's the word that I'm looking at. I'm not making it up.
Yeah, but I'm trying to think, what would I mean by saying
it's one thing to want to correct it. It's another to suggest that I'm making the word up.
Yeah, but Commissioner, I don't know what seems to be the point of this, so that I can address your question.
No, it's all right. You vehemently took issue with what I read, but now you have read it for yourself, and you see it says that you are explaining that you didn't mean deduced.
Yes.
You probably intended to use another word.
Yes.
So I think we're fine. My question really is different. This is the seal after your. Okay, I'll call it the seal of the 22nd of June, 2021.
Yes.
Okay, are we together? Colonel, are we?
Yes,
okay.
Commissioner, yes.
Now, I am familiar through these documents of those two numbers. If you look at your paragraph 35, it reads, your paragraph 35, your statement now to the commission, at page 6. On 1st July 2021, I proceeded to the CHC depot with Mpangas and Sibia. I had arranged that the clearing agent, Megafreight, send a representative to unpack the container, and we conducted a count of 50 kg of bags of animal feed. You remember yesterday you testified that you needed to satisfy yourself that the animal feed or the commodity that is listed on the bill of lading in the quantities suggested is exactly what you find in there.
Correct, Commissioner.
That exercise of the 1st of July ought to have required you to have broken the seal of the 22nd of June.
That is correct.
Was the container resealed thereafter? And if so, by who?
On the 22nd of June?
No, on the 1st of July.
I actually can't recall, Commissioner, and the reason for that is we then released the container into the clearing agent's hands, so I can't say whether it was resealed or not. I'm unsure.
You break the seal, you do whatever you had decided in the container, then you leave it to the agent, the clearing agent. I ask because that is the one seal number I've never been able to find this third seal number, if it exists at all. So it would suggest that the container, after you opened it on the 1st July 2021 for the purposes stated, was never resealed. And I just wanted to test whether that is the correct position, factual position.
Okay, just so I get clarity, Commissioner, we're saying that when we did conduct the operation on the 22nd of June 2021,
yes,
the original seal was broken. A new seal was put in place to ensure that that container was locked.
Indeed. On
the 1st of July, upon coming back to do an unpack of that container, obviously that seal would have been broken to allow us access to the container. And thereafter, the container itself, after the unpack, was handed over to the clearing agent from Mega Freight. So there's no need for the police now to have any interaction with that container.
So the clearing agent then takes full responsibility of the unsealed container at that point.
That is correct.
And that is the reason why I can't find reference to the third seal. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you say in your diary entry that it was resealed on the 1st of July?
Okay, I can't
Page 804, you just don't give us a picture or a number of that seal.
Okay, my apologies, Commissioner. I didn't, it's a long time ago. But my point, I think, in essence, is that we have no further interest in this container. So whether I resealed it or not, I've now officially handed it over to the clearing agent.
But what do you mean you have no interest? Whether you seal it or not is irrelevant. I mean, our understanding of the evidence and procedures is you seal it to return it where you found it, basically. At the end of whatever the police do, they lock it up so that they're able to say, this is how we left it. That's why you take pictures of everything that you do. That's why you have a record of what was done, and then you close it up. And then beyond that, if anything is found to be amiss in there, you are able to say, here's our record of what we did and what we found, and when we locked it up, and here's the seal number. So what you're saying now goes contrary completely to those procedures. It means the police can arrive, and in fact, that's what it suggests here. You got there, opened it, did whatever you did, and you just leave it in the hands of the clearing agent, who could turn around and say, stuff was missing.
No, obviously he would have to confirm our inspection or our unpack of that container. And like I said, there were 5,395 bags. We would have made him sign some sort of something to confirm our unpack. I can't recall offhand, but I'm saying we would safeguard ourselves to ensure that he doesn't come back and say bags are missing. So.
The issue I'm taking with you is you saying we've done what we needed to do. It doesn't matter that we didn't seal it, because remember your evidence earlier was you were accepting that you did not seal it, or you may not have sealed it, and then you seek to justify that by saying it's actually of no consequence, and that it may not have been sealed, and I'm taking issue with that but it is of consequence. It is worrying that you're sitting there and you're saying it's of no consequence.
Commissioner, I'll say the fact that he's the clearing agent, he was satisfied with the unpack with all of the occurrences. So in my mind, there was no need, but it seems like we did seal it. But I hear what you're saying.
Is there no requirement that you should seal it? Because, you see, we have to distinguish your ways of doing things from the procedures, the protocols that are required of police officers when they do operations like this. We have to distinguish those. So if you say that's your way of doing it, and according to you it was of no consequence, it's a different subject for criticism, however we choose to criticize it. If you say the protocol doesn't require that I seal it back because it's of no consequence, we look at the protocol and confirm that indeed you're correct to say that, and maybe even comment finally whether that protocol needs to be amended or not. So I want to understand why you say what you say, that it doesn't matter. Is it because the protocol says it doesn't matter?
Commissioner, as far as I'm aware, when you break the seal, yes, the photos issue and all of that, there needs to be proper reference or documentation of photos taken. Also, before unpack of a container, meaning you've taken out the contraband, you've got the legitimate commodity there, that's a given that you seal that container, before any unpack or anything else happens to that container. As for when the clearing agent is there and you do a final unpack and realize that all is in order, I'm not aware of any obligation in terms of the protocol on us.
Can I ask you the question differently? If the first time you went there on the 22nd, you opened and you found no contraband, are you saying you could simply have walked away without sealing that?
No.
So it doesn't matter that the clearing agent is there. What matters is what are SAP's protocols.
Yes.
Right? That's really what matters. This was a police operation on the 1st of July. It was. When you went and opened there, at least we must assume for now that you were conducting a police operation on the 1st of July. You got there, you instructed that container be opened in the exercise of police function. That's why it's in your diary, right? There are rules about what you do. You record what you have done. You take pictures of what you found there, and then you close up and you record the serial number. That's what I'm suggesting to you, that you record and you take pictures, including pictures on a number of the seal that you have used to reseal the container, whether or not the agent is there.
So, I think I agree with you going
Thank
forward
you.
and ensure that.
Thank you, Commissioner. And I think it becomes a bit of an issue because, I'll put it differently. Warrant Officer Mpangase opened the inquiry file, correct?
Yes, correct.
And one of the very first documents in there is a statement provided by you, the unsigned statement.
Yes, correct.
And Warrant Officer Mpangase was the investigating officer for all of the 7 days before you came back and you took the inquiry file back.
Correct.
We couldn't find in that inquiry file a statement. Your statement is there, but it doesn't appear that you took a statement from Warrant Officer Mpangase and Warrant Officer Sibia for purposes of the inquiry. Why is that? And there is no entry in the investigation diary that either of the statements was obtained from the two. You seem to have collected statements from almost everybody except those two. Why is that?
There's no particular reason, Commissioner. Generally, when you're preparing for court, when something is going to...
On July 1st, they opened the shipping container to check the actual cargo, the animal feed that was used to hide the drugs. But after they checked it, Jacob just left the container completely unsealed and handed it over to a private shipping agent. Standard police protocol strictly requires that whenever you open a piece of evidence, you must apply a new security seal, log the new seal number, and photograph it so no one can tamper with it. Jacob openly admitted that he completely ignored this protocol. As if that wasn't enough, when asked why he chose the Port SHEPSTONE facility even though he knew it wasn't secure, Jacob threw his boss under the bus. He claimed his superior, Brigadier Nuswa, gave him a direct order to move the drugs there. Jacob argued that as a lower-ranking officer, he had no choice but to obey. You see why I said this whole operation was staged? Now ask yourself, why did he forget to seal those bags? We are just getting started. Keep watching, and you'll be absolutely shocked by what was revealed at the end. Jabalani, roll the clip.
By Warrant Officer Mpangase. At least he's the one who did it.
Yes.
And from that moment, you did indicate that he was the investigating officer until you took over on the 29th of June. Why is the first... Why is the A1 statement, the first statement in that inquiry file, not his? Because at the point you opened that inquiry file,
yes,
he was the investigating officer. Why doesn't it kick off with his statement and awaits your statement after you have assumed responsibility for the inquiry?
I can't think of a reason. You know, the simple answer, Commissioner, is that some members don't like writing statements. I'm somebody that enjoys writing and drafts, so maybe that's got something to do with it. He should have filed a statement. But like I'm saying, in these cases, generally just an A1 will suffice because there's no need for so many corroboration or so many witnesses to corroborate what transpired because you're not going to court. So it's generally not done where three people say the same thing. It's only, we take statements normally in these cases from the different role players just to give a complete overview of what transpired.
Okay. So as an investigating officer, Warrant Officer Mpangase, he's the investigating officer from the 22nd He opens that inquiry file and absolutely nothing happens in that file until you come back after the 29th of June and then you subsequently file your undated statement. Is that the correct position?
You know, Commissioner, that statement that's undated and not signed, it's not like me. So I'm thinking maybe while I was on leave, I did a statement and emailed it to him. I'm not sure, but there wouldn't be a logical reason why I wouldn't sign my statement. So I probably sent it to him. Maybe he printed it and put it there, and I just neglected when I did get the inquiry file to ensure that it was signed and commissioned.
You are trying to give him some activity in the week that he was an investigating officer. It's rather a stretch, Colonel.
Sorry, just on this, absolutely nothing happening until you come back from leave. And I would like to hear your comment on this. It looks like you came in from leave, led the operation, you left and went back to your leave, and then you came back and you took over from where you left off. And the impression that I have is Warrant Officer Mpangase was really holding for you. You never left this matter. And I want to give you one example why it looks that way to me, is you go back to leave on the 22nd. On the 23rd, you phone, I think it's Colonel Kuzwayo of the FSL. So you are actively involved. You didn't leave it to Mpangase. Somewhere down the line in those days, still you talk to him about making sure that these things are entered in the SAP 13. So you continued to be active in this file, in this docket. So it's misleading, in fact, to say I got involved only until 1 o'clock or whatever time on the 22nd, and I left them at Isipingo, and I left and I had nothing to do with the rest of this matter. And then when I came back, he was leaving. Mpangase was going on retirement because everyone in the office knew that was going to happen. And for that reason, I took over. People took over his dockets and I took this one over. It seems like it's an engineered set of circumstances that, in fact, the truth of it is this remained your matter even as you were on leave, as we see from your continued involvement when you are on leave. I would like to hear your comment about that. That's the impression I have, and that's my view at this point until you've explained it.
I can understand it, Commissioner. The simple answer is this. I'm a conscientious commander. It's a simple answer. There may have been no need for me to phone the FSL. There may have been no need for me to continue liaising with him whilst I'm on leave. But I felt that's my duty as a commander. Look at it. I had to ensure or remind him to put it in exhibit bags. I'm the one who called the lab, albeit that's in dispute, and found out how to get the ball rolling. All of this that I had done was to ensure that this investigation gains momentum, gets finalized. So, thank you.
The simple fact I'm making, you're actually confirming what I'm saying, that you never left this matter, because the impression you have given, or at least that I had gained, is that you were brought in and you gave an explanation why you told Commissioner Khumalo yesterday, in response to a direct question, why would you come out of leave to deal with this? You are on leave. Anyone else could have dealt with it. You gave your explanation. I was excited. I've never been involved in a drug bust at a container. So I love my job. That's why I went in. I didn't even claim my leave days after I had gone in. But I left because I continued to be on leave. And the proposition I'm making to you is, in fact, you never left. You continued to be involved in this matter, even as you were on leave. You continued to be involved. You say you're conscientious because you're conscientious. Say, well, that's your reason for doing it. All I'm putting to you is the facts. The facts are, Mpangase was acting on your instructions to get exhibit bags, to put things in an SAP 13. You were directing him, do this, do that. Even though you say, I knew him to be an experienced officer who would know what to do. Well, we can see from what has happened that either he didn't know what to do or he was grossly negligent. But you were directing and telling him, do this, do that. But not only that, because you are conscientious, you phone Colonel Kumalo, you call the lab. So you're very busy in the period that you're on leave. So you never stepped off this case. You remained throughout. And Mbangase, and I'm saying to you, my impression is Warrant Officer Mbangase was holding fort for you and taking directions from you while you were on leave. That's the impression I have, and that's what I'm putting to you, it looks like.
Okay, Commissioner, that's the role of a commander, is to guide your members on the correct way to do things or to ensure that certain things are done. So that's what I did. And with regards to, I never knew I'm going to take this seriously. When I came back, I was caught off guard by Pangase. I was caught off guard. He reminded me he's going off. He doesn't want all of these dockets and inquiries. We can even do a check and see at that stage. It would have been around the same time. All of the dockets and inquiries that were allocated to him were now disseminated to others. So it wasn't this specific case. And the reason that this had come to me is generally the norm that where a member is involved in an operation, then you are the IO. Now, the three options we had was myself, KG Sibia, and Pangase. Pangase is the one, I didn't go ask him, I want this investigation. He was the one that didn't want to handle it. When I came back from leave, I never issued an instruction that I want this inquiry. Thank you.
You're not disputing my putting to you the fact that even as you were on leave, you continued to be involved with this. You say because it's a duty of a commander to continue to give directions to their members. You say because you're a conscientious commander. You give your explanations why. I'm putting to you the fact that you continued to be involved. You give a justification for it. All I'm saying to you is the impression that you handed over to Mbangase and you left. And then you came back and he was about to retire and his files were being distributed and this one landed on your desk. It doesn't look like it was all fortuitous because you continued to be involved with this matter in your office. Beyond, other than Mbangase, you knew the most, you had the most involvement with this matter by the time he retired. You and him were the two people closely involved with this matter. Fact, right? That is a fact. Thank you.
Commissioner,
you can comment if you want to.
I think I was actively involved in the 2 days subsequent, or even the day of the operation, and possibly the next day where I made those calls. Up until the 29th of June, when I returned to work, I had no further engagement or played any part. I told him what needed to be done, and that was it. It's only when I came back. So out of my leave days, it was the 1 day of the operation and 1 day after that I was actively involved. But other than that, I enjoyed my vacation leave, came back on the 29th, and now I find the situation that they're redistributing it, and this comes to me because I was actively involved in it. Thank you.
Chair, might this be an appropriate time for enlarged adjournment? Thank you.
Let's adjourn and resume at 2:10.
Thank you.
Colonel Jacob claimed that between June 22nd and June 29th, 2021, he was on leave and had officially handed the case over to a junior officer, Warrant Officer Mkhwanazi, to act as the lead investigator. However, the commission brought out the receipts, phone logs, and official records showing that Jacob never actually let go of the reins. Even though he was supposed to be on holiday, he was still running the show. Can you imagine that? This tells you exactly how deeply invested he was in these drugs. He never did a single thing right from the very beginning. Instead, he deliberately left massive lapses in security. Even while supposedly on vacation, he was still tightly monitoring the entire operation. Jabulani, roll the clip.
From those police stations.
No,
But you agree that that's a very short distance.
it is a short distance.
Were inquiries made? If not, why not?
Firstly, Chair, the time delay to send members. Sometimes they come back with 5 or 10 bags.
What's worse?
Yes.
What's worse? Saving time and not complying with prescripts which require that exhibits should be placed in exhibit bags. What's more important? Saving time?
Yes. No, I agree, Chair. I agree.
Thank you, Chair.
Yes, am I understanding your evidence correctly to be that you and your team did not have evidence bags with you or enough evidence bags with you, but you as you were at the scene, you did not make any inquiries with any police stations?
You are correct, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Thanks, Commissioner Baloyi. In response to a question from the chair, you indicated, did I understand you correctly, that you learned later that they were transported to Port Shepstone, not contained in evidence bags. Is that your statement?
Can you repeat that?
I had understood your answer to a question posed by the chair, that you subsequently learned that they were transported from Isipingo to Port Shepstone, not in evidence bags.
I knew that from the onset, Commissioner. Yes.
Okay, that's what I needed to clarify. So by the time you left the scene at Isipingo, you knew that they were being transported to Port Shepstone, not in evidence bags.
I did know that, Commissioner.
Thank you.
So basically, you knew even before you handed over to, is it Warrant Officer Mkhwanazi?
Yes.
So even before the handover, you already knew.
I did know that.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you, Chair.
Sorry, lastly, in that paragraph 61, the very last statement where you say your interaction with DPP office at no stage was contamination of the crime scene or integrity of the exhibits ever cited as an issue. What are you conveying in terms of, maybe my question is, well, what did the DPP office know about what happened at the scene, about how the exhibits were handled? Were they ever in a position to express a view?
Yes. Okay. They would have had sight of the entire inquiry, Commissioner. That would have outlined every statement that was there. Yes, in the investigation diary, Warrant Officer Pangase puts a date and time as to when he sealed them in exhibit bags.